This is the second of our tutorial videos continuing our introduction to FamilySearch. We will complete the tour around FamilySearch person records that we started in the beginning tutorial and then briefly go into some slightly more advanced topics. We will continue to focus on person records and delve into sources in some detail, and look more closely at relevant FamilySearch help topics and learning tools along the way. Our objectives are to give you a working knowledge to view, understand, and begin using FamilySearch, and to get familiar with the help tools that you can use to take you beyond the start we provide in this video. In the beginning tutorial video, we touched on person records in the details view, where we opened the vitals section, which included name, birth, and death information. Then we worked with alternate names, which is found when you open the row labeled Other Information. We won't be covering other relationships and will only touch on brief life history. Let's continue our tour of the person page by looking at the Family Members section. We open that section by clicking on the downward chevron on the right side of the Family Members row, as shown here labeled in green. In the Family Members section, it is important to keep track of our selected person, who is always highlighted and displayed at least twice. In this case, our person is Justa Maria Menacho Garcia. Our person is shown as a spouse and parent in the left column. In the second column, our person shows as a child and a sibling with her parents above. This feature confused me initially because it differed from the format of person records in other family tree programs. If you want to change the selected person from this view, double-click on the name of the parent, child, sibling, or spouse you are interested in. Don't make the mistake of clicking the pencil next to the name unless you specifically want to change a parent-child relationship, such as a step-parent. I have annotated this view to familiarize you with how different family members are placed in this Family Members section. I have added tips about where you would add various family members. You can pause the video to note these particulars, but I am not going to instruct you on each item. Rather, I will refer you to the relevant FamilySearch help topic. While we are there, we will point out related help topics that appear on the same page. You will find a circled question mark at the top of your person page and many other FamilySearch pages. Click on that question mark and then the help and learning link to open this page. If you plan to work with FamilySearch, I encourage you to explore this help and learning view thoroughly. Most of all, I suggest the first two topics, Family Tree and Memories. We will cover the Family Tree help page in this video. Memories will be covered mostly in a third tutorial, along with a related family history site called Find a Grave. Now that we have navigated to the Family Tree help page, this is the most important reference page if you plan to work on your family tree in FamilySearch. The first topic is 5 minutes well spent to fully understand the FamilySearch platform's purpose. The second topic provides clear guidance on how to start your tree, add family members, and connect to deceased ancestors already in FamilySearch. Moving down the page, you can learn how to correct common problems and issues, how to properly enter names, dates, and place names. In fact, below these, there are 9 more concisely covered topics that each offer quick required learning if you are going to work in FamilySearch. You will find these 9 important topics when you scroll down the family tree page. For instance, changing marriage information can easily confuse you unless you review the one at the top of this list. The importance of designating a person living versus deceased was covered in the beginning tutorial, and the second topic on this list shows you how to perform that change. The third topic covers deleting a person. Generally, it is not a good idea to delete a person unless you have just completed the action of adding that person in error, but more specifics are provided here. The fourth topic is the advanced topic of merging duplicates. If you're going to merge two persons, I recommend that you study this topic carefully to be certain of your facts and proceed very deliberately. Then be ready to reverse the merge if necessary, because a bad merge can create a sticky situation that can be hard to fix. Adding the step of adopted or foster parents is more straightforward, but I recommend you review the subject here before taking that action. Data problems should be addressed and fixed, but occasionally, after addressing the issue, you may find the data is correct and the data problem warning does not dismiss without taking action as instructed in this sixth bullet item. Third from the bottom on this list is adding an outside source. This subject will likely arise with many of our deceased immigrant ancestors because most Spanish birth certificates are unavailable online source documents. However, you might obtain a photo of this birth certificate from the Justice of the Peace in their birth town. That would be an outside source covered by this help item. Second from last is vital information changes, such as birth, death, and burial information, which was partly covered in the beginning tutorial, but this topic is worth reviewing. The last topic is not the least. In fact, the next slide covers the details of that topic. As I implied in the beginning tutorial, the FamilySearch family tree is not your personal property. Nevertheless, you may be personally invested in some information related to the data in FamilySearch. Protecting and nurturing that information requires collaboration and understanding the nature of changes made by each other. You may follow a person to be notified of changes on that person record. You can review latest changes to better understand changes made by others, or to understand any mistakes you or others make. You can collaborate on one or more person records by adding or reading a discussion item. Through all collaboration, remember to be respectful and courteous with all collaborators, and always keep in mind that our Spanish ancestors have names that repeat within and across generations. Children are named after grandparents, and even family name combinations repeat frequently. I highly recommend adding sources and reason statements for each change you make. These subjects will be addressed more in a moment. A brief life history can provide a valuable guide to you and others, which may avoid errors and misidentifications. Here is an example of a brief life history. The best practice is to have any facts named in a life history backed up by verifiable source records that are also posted. Family tree software such as Ancestry.com and Family Tree Builder provides an automated summary of a life history based on source documents posted on those platforms. That summary can be copied from such a program, pasted here, and then edited, or you can type it out manually. Where do we find sources for a person? Let's look at Justa Maria Menacho Garcia, who often went by various names, including Mary Menacho Dominguez, with Menacho as her American middle name. I will refer to her as Justa Menacho to distinguish her from her mother, who had a similar name. Looking at sources near the top, we have a tab where we might view currently attached sources. If this was the first time you viewed this person's record, you probably want to look at those attached sources first to ensure you're looking at the person you think this is. However, for this presentation, I want to show you where you can go to add sources first. In the right column, we can see Research, Help, and Search Records as places from which we might add sources. Research Help and FamilySearch records are free databases, but if you subscribe to one of the other services listed under Search Records, such as Ancestry shown here, you might prefer to use that. The Research Help records are suggestions by database algorithms that can be a wealth of information if the vitals are correct. So let's begin with the California death record listed first under Research Help. When we click on it, a preview column opens on the right. We can confirm this is a match by checking that information and knowing the birth date, death place, and parents' names from the vitals and family member sections not shown. So we can click on the Review and Attach button below the source record preview as marked here with the number 3. The Attach Historical Records screen opens with the historical source record on the left and my previously recorded and automatically matched records on the right. I usually start with the person at the top, which in this case is Justa's father, Francisco Menacho Fernandez. That family name is a match, so I will attach the records by clicking the purple button marked with a 1 on this slide. Francisco's portion of the record is then expanded. Confirming the information, I enter the reason why I believe I'm attaching this record correctly. The names, dates, death date, place, and relationships match. Entering the whole reason helps me think through both how I could be wrong and how I can explain it to any FamilySearch user interested in this person. Then I click the Attach button to complete the action. Then I scroll down the page and repeat the same steps for each person. Conveniently, the attachment reason I wrote in the top record automatically fills the reason field for each person attached to this source record. When I'm done, the completed record looks like this, with Justa Menacho and her named parents all attached to this one death record. However, if this record is connected by mistake, it can be corrected using the detach function shown with the green arrow. Before moving on, I want to point out that the person ID is an important feature in FamilySearch. That ID can make merging, finding, and adding more precise and easier than using names alone. Also, as I have pointed out, there can be multiple records for the same person, and names can repeat for uniquely different people, especially for our Spanish family members. Now that we have completed attaching an item from the Research Help, let's search the larger database of potential source records available free of charge on FamilySearch. We will often be presented with a long list of potentially matching records available in the huge database of FamilySearch historical records. Many records are not exact matches, so please carefully discern them before attaching. In the case of Justa, I found that 3 of the 4 records displayed here apparently matched Justa Menacho. The family tree link icon circled in red on the top record shows that it has already been attached to a person record. When I clicked on that family tree link, I found it already matched the person ID I pointed out in the previous slide, so nothing to do there. The 2 records circled in green are not attached. They have no family tree icon like the top record. So I will explore, confirm, and attach if appropriate. Let's start with the index to passengers record, the first of the green circled records. I have confirmed that the indexed information matches my Justa Menacho Garcia. However, the ship name is improperly captured in the indexed information. Still, by looking at the image, I have confirmed that the ship name is actually Ascot and not Jacob, so I attach this to Justa's person record. The other green circled record on our passenger list was a separate immigration record related to the record we just attached. This includes the image of the passenger list, which allows us to step back in time. In this case, the digital index record spells out Husta's personal data appropriately, although as a child her name is not as complete as her parents'. I am assured that this accurately records Husta's voyage to Hawaii, so attach it to the tree through Husta's personal record. To be certain, I view the original document. So we have come full circle back to the ship index, where our research journey began in the beginner's tutorial video. I am often thrilled by seeing an ancestor's name as handwritten when the event occurred. Sometimes the images of the original manifest or list of alien passengers is often difficult to read. So I use the index data on the right and sometimes the electronic ship index on the Spanish Hawaiian Heritage Association website to confirm. However, in other cases, you will find that the index data contains errors as compared to what was written by hand. In yet other cases, the handwritten data can be incorrect or phonetically spelled. It is important to interpret this data in context of the entire family and to realize that many or most of these immigrants were illiterate and may not have been able to properly read and write their own names. Finally, let's return to our initial view for an existing person record. The Sources tab lists the attached sources. For this presentation, I chose to attach records first to show you how they appear after we attach them. The bottom three attached source records have been attached during our process. However, the birth certificate is something we haven't covered yet, and this source document was added using a different method. Let's open it and look at it by clicking on the chevron at the right. This source did not come from an online database. Instead, it is a photo of an original birth certificate taken by a FamilySearch user, which was added to memories and then added to sources from memories. Why would you want to do that? Well, first, this information is not available online. Second, Spanish civil records of birth can be a large wealth of information. Beginning in 1871, all municipal governments in Spain were required to record births by date for everyone born in Spain. Furthermore, the mother, father, declarant, who's the person reporting the birth, and all four grandparents, along with their places of birth, residence, and marital status, were required to be clearly identified on this record. In addition, exact place of birth, including street address, as well as ages and occupation of parents, were required. Anyone who is listed as defunto was already dead at time as of the birth date. So that even provides information on their dates. This can add a lot of vital information to the family tree for at least 7 family members. It is a great service to all users, and it justifies what you record under vital information to add such a source. The Family Tree Help page, which we covered early in this presentation, explains how to add an outside source like the birth certificate we showed you on the previous slide. I have opened that help topic here. I won't take the time to go through the details, but I hope that just a glance at how simply this is explained will encourage you to use the Family Tree Help page, which is always just a few clicks away when you are working in FamilySearch. Before we conclude, I want to show you that many help topics are also covered in video format. Many of the more complex tasks are better addressed in video form. I know that most of us are visual learners. Perhaps that is why you've watched this video. Like the Help and Learning section, classes and videos are available by clicking on the circled question mark. When you scroll down the classes and video page, you will see these two choices. I like the YouTube videos. Let's click on Find a Video. You will be taken to the FamilySearch YouTube channel when you click on Find a Video. Here are many options, but typing keywords into the magnifying glass Find feature is the quickest way to get to your desired destination. I have typed in person records. After typing that in and hitting enter, I get a long list of items. Still, I am displaying only two that I found very relevant to this More on FamilySearch tutorial video. The first covers attaching source records to your ancestors, which reviews some of what we covered, but with more detail. It shows an older format of FamilySearch, but the principles and most of the details are very much the same. The second video is more advanced, but it might help you fix sticky problems such as bad merges if you find such issues. I will end this video here in hopes that you are now more familiar with what you are looking at in FamilySearch. Specifically, we have covered how to navigate person records, view and add source records, and most of all, where to find help to further develop your family tree.